Welcome to day 2 of our look at dental podcast. Now, yesterday, I told you some of the technical requirements for publishing a podcast. Now, that's probably the hard part. You probably think you can talk about dentistry with no problem. Well, let me tell you why this line of thinking is guaranteed to make sure that no one listens to your podcast. Colin again with another Sunday edition of the Patient Attraction Podcast. Now, publishing a podcast is a great way to reach out to your patients and your prospective patients alike. Now, it requires a very small amount of equipment, a little bit of computer savvy, and of course, a little bit of your time. But most of that time is not spent in the recording, editing, or even uploading your process. No, most of that time is in planning. But Colin, I can hear you saying, I can talk about dentistry in my sleep. Yeah, you can, but the way that you talk about dentistry is not how you'll get more dental prospects to subscribe to your podcast. Your podcast cannot be an extension of your chairside conversation. Your podcast should not sound like anything that would have taken place in a lecture in dental school. You need to focus on the same things your website focuses on: patient problems. And let's talk about possible formats of your podcast. First off, you could do interviews. Your podcast could include interviews with patients about the work that they've done. You could interview your staff about your differentiation, your unique points in your practice, in the marketplace. You could talk to specialists to whom you refer or who refer to you. But no matter who you're interviewing, ask engaging questions and push to get short, punchy answers. Second, you can do an explanatory podcast. Now, this is where you talk about different dental problems and possible solutions to the problem. You'd better have some great topics and a great personality to pull this off. Now, third, you can have a discussion. And this is where a second or more people discuss topics, giving varying insights and ideas. And this would be great for a multi-doctor practice. Fourth, you can have a topical conversation. And in this format, you talk about the topics of the day. This can be from pop culture, or it could be questions from patients or prospects, or frankly, the weather. And if you decide to go this route, plan to put in a lot of time looking for current topics and happening trends. Now, this brings me to my final point of this podcast. A great podcast requires great planning. You're not going to be able to just turn on the mic and start to rip. You need to find your topics, write out your thoughts, organize them into a script, and you don't have to write out your podcast word for word. And in fact, I would encourage you not to, but you at least have to have some notes and bullet points to go from. Now, I hope this little series has encouraged you to do a podcast. I look forward to seeing it soon. And until then, keep moving forward.